Alright guys, welcome to another Shenmue 3 video. Just being able to say those words makes me so happy. But this is an FAQ video. A lot of stuff people have been asking about. There's an FAQ at the bottom of the Kickstarter page, but I think a lot of people haven't seen it. Some interesting points to go through, so it's worth chatting about, I reckon. First of all, to sort of correct something that I said in the previous video, I said that with extra target goals on Kickstarter, they would give you new locations. It's not exactly true. What it will be is that the locations that they have will be expanded with extra targets reached on Kickstarter. So the point remains though, you're still going to get extra locations, extra places to go, extra things to do. The game's going to be bigger and better with more money coming to it through Kickstarter, and it's a shame to see content in a game held to ransom on Kickstarter in that kind of way, especially when we have learned that Sony are indeed financially involved with this. Why couldn't they just pony up the extra couple of million to make it the game that it deserves to be? Who knows? So many questions, but some of the questions have been answered. At least these are the official answers that have been given anyway. We'll see how things turn out in the end. So the FAQ, the first one, addresses this point of funding. It says, can you make an open world game for $2 million? And the answer is no, we cannot make an open world game for $2 million. Shenmue will be produced using both the funds from Kickstarter and through other funding sources already secured by WiseNet Inc., which is Yu Suzuki's own company there. It says, we are very sorry, but due to contractual obligations, details of outside investments will not be disclosed. That basically means Sony's funding it, but they don't want to admit it because then you will get the complaints from people. Why can't you just fund it all the way? Why do you need this extra leg up on Kickstarter? Well, it's probably because they just want to gauge how much people want this game. But anyway, so they're not discussing the extra funding, but there is extra funding coming from elsewhere, so it's not just solely through Kickstarter. That is official. The next on the FAQ list, will the graphics be improved? And the answer is the screenshots and images that are posted here on Kickstarter are still in the very early stages of development and will continue to be improved. Please help spread the word on all of your social networks so that we can deliver a Shenmue that lives up to its legacy. So again, more funding will mean more, time and capacity to make the game be and look as good as it can be. The next question, will there be an Xbox or Wii U or Linux or Mac version of Shenmue 3? And it says currently we are planning development only for PC and PS4. Other platforms have not been decided yet, so it's not ruled out. So whatever these shady, funders that don't want us to know who's funding it, probably Sony, it looks like they're not ruling out the game being released on other platforms. And we want this game to be on as many platforms as possible. Come on. I mean, it would make sense for it to be on the Wii U. Sega are quite pally with Nintendo these days. A lot of games coming out on that system from Sega, working closely together. It would make sense for it to be on that platform. We want it on all the platforms. Why? Because we want the game to raise as much money as it can do, to make as much money as it can, so that Shenmue 4, 5, 6 and 7 are self-funded. Yeah, because it looks like, just to go off what's on the Kickstarter page, the wording that they use on there, it really kind of looks like this is intended to be the Shenmue 3 as it was originally intended, which means that it's not going to be, the whole of the Shenmue story squeezed into one final game. It looks like from the wording of the blurbs on Kickstarter that it's just the next chapter in Shenmue and not all of the rest of the story put in one game. So with that in mind, we want Shenmue 3 to make a buttload of money so that the next chapters will be an easy choice for whoever wants to make it, so that they will be self-funded. But yeah, getting back onto the point there, currently planned only for PC and PS4, but the window is definitely there for it to be released elsewhere. If Sony are part of funding it, they'll want obviously it to come to PS4 first, but after that's happened, it's quite likely it'll end up at least on Xbox One, at least as a digital download if nothing else. So there we go, that's what's happening with that situation. It's certainly not ruled out, Right, the next one, this is one that I really care about. Will there be a physical copy on the PS4? And it says that the Shenmue Kickstarter will only be offering the digital download version for the PlayStation Network. That says the Shenmue Kickstarter will only be offering the digital download version for PlayStation. It doesn't say that it will never come out on physical release on PS4. Although the question here specifically is, will there be a physical copy reward for PS4? Meaning, will you be able to get the PS4 physical version through Kickstarter? No, you won't, according to this. So, during the Kickstarter, it's only going to be available as a digital download on PS4. There's no official word yet about whether or not it will eventually have a physical release on PS4. They're just kind of saying at the minute that it's not something that they're doing right now. Okay, but it's again not been ruled out. So that's good. I'd love to have a physical copy, come on. I want to be able to stack it with these. I don't want to have it on digital. God almighty, I'm still going to get it blatantly. I will buy that motherfucking game on digital and then again on physical when it comes out, if it comes out physical. But that's me, I'm a bit mental. So, next question. Are there any plans for HD versions of Shenmue 1 and 2? It says here, this is, quite an obvious answer I guess when you think about it. The property rights for Shenmue 1 and Shenmue 2 belong to Sega. So we are not in a position to comment on that. Again, bearing in mind that Sega has allowed Yu Suzuki to have the rights to Shenmue to go and make this game away from them, without their pockets being involved at all. So Sega aren't involved in the production of Shenmue 3. But they do still own the property rights for Shenmue 1 and 2. So that's not something that Yu Suzuki can comment on. Sega would be really missing a trick if they didn't put out HD versions or any flipping versions of these games to be available now to be played by a wider audience in preparation for number 3 coming out. They'd be missing a trick. They really would. If they got any business sense at all, hang on, it's Sega we're talking about. No, they don't have any business sense at all, so it might not happen. But it would make a lot of sense. Sega, come on, release those games. It would not be difficult at all. Surely they could put the original Xbox code for at least Shenmue 2 out there. They've got that ready to go. Both would it be a difficult? I don't know, but they need to do it. It would be really good because it would allow people to, who haven't played these games before, to have access to them before Shenmue 3, thereby getting more interest in the game, thereby making it sell more, make more money, and them are more likely to get Shenmue 4, 5, 6 and 7. I know, what am I talking about? 14 years we've been waiting for Shenmue 3, and I'm already wishing for Shenmue 4, 5, 6 and 7. Well, we want the whole story, that's why. And again, based on the way that things are worded on the Kickstarter, it really looks like this is going to be just the next chapter and not the whole rest of the story. That's exciting, but we don't know yet. The next one, will payments be accepted through PayPal? They said they're considering PayPal as an option. If it's added, there'll be an announcement. They really should have done that already. Come on, you give people as many ways as you can think of to throw money at you. Why would you limit it? Get PayPal on there. Anyway, next one. How will the funds raised through Kickstarter be used? Well, the funding collected through Kickstarter, it says, will go towards game development, minus Kickstarter's fees and the costs associated with running a Kickstarter. I hope it's not a percentage. Does anybody know what the fee is on Kickstarter? I hope it's not like a percentage, because that's a hell of a lot. If they're going to take, say, 5-10% or something of a 3 million so far total. Anyway, that's the FAQs for Shenmue so far. I hope it's answered some questions if you've had any, and not thought or bothered to look at the page, and maybe you prefer receiving information verbally. And if you do, there you go. You're welcome. So anyway, it's at 41,000 backers at the minute. 3,200,000 has been reached. It does fluctuate a little bit up and down, so hopefully it stays there. 3,200,000, the goal that has just been surpassed there, the stretch goal, which means extra content added to the game. Let's have a look. I'm just scrolling all the way down. There's a hell of a lot on this Kickstarter page. Right, so far the stretch goals that have been reached, you've got the Shenmue 1 and 2 cinema shorts. So the game is going to include films of the first 2 games to get you up to speed on the story if you've not played it before. Essential, really. I don't know why that was not included anyway, just standard, but this there. It's also got German, French, Spanish and Italian subtitles, so it's going to again be available to a wider audience. That's great, although I don't know why it cost £10,000. Is it 10? 100,000? I don't know why it costs so much to do that, but it's done. There you go. Right, so the goal that's just been reached is a rapport system. So that's an actual extra gameplay feature that is now going to be added that wouldn't have, according to the Kickstarter, if it hadn't reached this goal. So 3.2 million, a rapport system, another gameplay feature that will be added, making the game just deeper. And the next one at 3.5 million will be a skill tree system. Read into that what you will. Sounds pretty self-explanatory. Skill tree. It's just more gameplay features, basically, making it a deeper experience. And after that, you've got 4 million expanded area. One of the areas will be expanded. Plus, you'll get more mini games, and it goes on like that. And yeah, so there's still a long way to go to make this game as good as it deserves to be. It's slowed down a little bit, but let's hope, you know, we're not finished yet. Oh god, Shenmue 3, I can't believe it's happening. There you go. Alright guys, see you.